Tutoratti kids. My name is Shivani and we are studying mathematics. In the last lecture, we started a new chapter by the name Linear Pair of Equations in Two Variables. Do you remember the introduction? Also, we saw its standard form and we saw the four different methods of how to solve them. We were just introduced the names of the four different methods. We started with substitution method. Today we are going to proceed with the second method, that is elimination method. I hope you're doing your homework and solving the sums based on substitution method. Alright, now let's proceed with elimination method. Now what does the name elimination stand for? What does the word elimination mean? Does it mean anything called removal or removing? Right? It means removing. What are we supposed to remove here? What are we supposed to remove in an equation? Either of the two variables. Okay, we are supposed to be removing either of the two variables. So either it is x or y. How? First of all, which variable can be removed? Which variable can be removed? We have to compare the coefficients. We have to compare the coefficients. Now first of all, pair of equations, that means two different equations will be given to you. So you compare the coefficients of your variables. Those whose coefficients are the same, those variables can be eliminated. Okay, we'll be looking into examples of these methods. So first of all, let's try to understand the theory. Then how do we eliminate this? Now let's come to the question, how do we eliminate this? Now for elimination, you either need to add or you need to subtract. Now how are we supposed to decide to add or to subtract? When the signs are the same. Signs of what? Signs of your coefficients. When the coefficients have the same signs, then we are supposed to subtract the two equations. But if the coefficients have different signs, then we are supposed to add the two equations. Now, we saw the theory. Let's take one example and then try to understand. Okay, so these are the pair of equations that we have been given with. What is it? X minus y minus 7 equals to 0 and x plus y minus 11 equals to 0. So, before proceeding to the solution, there is one thing that we need to know is, in this method, we keep the variables on left hand side and we keep the constants onto the right hand side. Now, can you see the constants here? Minus 7 and minus 11. They are on the left hand side. So, first thing that you do is, you shift the constant. So, while writing your equation, you will write x minus y equals to 7, which becomes your first equation. And in the next equation again, you shift 11 onto the right hand side and your equation becomes x plus y equals to 11. Is this clear? And this is your equation number 2. Yahan tak clear hai? Now, what is the thing that we do now? We either remove x or y. Abhi elimination karna hai, we have to proceed with elimination. So either it is x or y. Now, which variable are we going to remove? Humne kya padha tha theory mein? We need to check the coefficients. We need to check the coefficients. Let's go back to the equations. Now check the coefficients. X ka coefficients is 1 and 1. Y ka is also 1 and 1. Now we conclude here that the coefficients of x as well as y are the same. फिर eliminate क्या करेंगे? Coefficients दोनों के same है, मतलब both x and y can be eliminated. Which is to be chosen now? Let's see how do we choose them. To remove x, we need to subtract. x अगर निकालना है तो दोनों equations को subtract करना पड़ेगा. Why? Because the signs of the coefficients are the same, plus 1 and plus 1. Okay? And if we decide to eliminate y, तो equations को add करना पड़ेगा. Why do we need to add the equation? Because the signs of the coefficient are different. Minus 1 and plus 1. You'll understand this? Minus 1 and plus 1. Now, since addition is simple, adding the two equations is simple. Since always, addition has always been easier. So what do we do here is, we will add the two equations. So adding equation 1 and 2. So write the two equations down and we'll simply proceed with addition. Abhi addition karne se pehle, remember here, minus y plus y. Minus y plus y will get eliminated. X plus x will become twice x. And 7 plus 11 is 18. Abhi x की value निकालनी है. So what do? You shift the coefficient onto the right hand side. Multiplication का यहाँ पे होगा division. So your x is equals to 9. But is this the only variable that we have in our equation? No, we have y as well. So how do we find the value of y? By substituting the value of x कहाँ पे? In either equation 1 or equation 2. मतलब इन दोनों में से किसी एक equation में you put the value of x and then you obtain the value of y. Let's try doing that abhi. Now, I'm going to substitute x is equals to 9 in equation 2. This is my choice. You can go with any of the two equations. That is absolutely up to you. So what do? I take the value of x. Instead of x, I'm going to write 9. So 9 plus y equals to 11 and y is equals to 11 minus 9 and y is equals to 2. So this is the final and concluding statement that you need to mention in every equation that you solve, which is the value of x is equals to 9, value of y equals to 2, and this is the solution of the given simultaneous equation. Is this clear? So this is how you proceed with the elimination method. Alright. Now next we'll be moving on with cross multiplication method. You remember one of the 4 methods that we talked about in the first lecture. Now we'll be proceeding with cross multiplication method. Cross multiplication method. Now we are going to be proceeding with this one. Now before that, let us recall one simple thing that we studied in the first lecture. Let us see kitna yaad hai aapko. Do you all remember the standard form of linear equations? Do you remember the standard form of linear equations in 2 variables? It was ax plus by plus c equals to 0. Barabar? This was the form. But here, now that we have pair of equations, that means we have 2 simultaneous equations. We are taking a1, b1, c1 and we are going to take a2, b2 and c2. These are the standard form of your equations. Excellent. You remember the standard form, okay? So now we are going to take this as an example. We are going to first form the formula and then we are going to use that formula to solve a sum. Okay? Yahan tak clear hai? Excellent. Let's move forward with the standard forms. Now, what do you do here is x, y and 1. Place it like that. Place it x, y and 1. Understand this, we are only trying to derive the formula or we are only trying to reach the formula. जो formula हम solve करने के लिए use करने वाले हैं. This is a very simple method of remembering how to use the formula. So what you do? First you write the 2 variables and randomly place 1. Why do we choose 1? We will understand this when we solve the sum. Abhi just remember that it is 1 variable, 2nd variable and 1. Okay? Is this enough for you? Excellent. Now what you do here is, you take the variables of y. Sorry, you take the coefficients of the variable y. You take the coefficients. Isko kahan pe rakhna hai? Place them here. Okay? Place them here. This is again a simple method of remembering the formula only. Okay? Then you take the constants. What are the constants? C1 and C2. Where do you place them? Place it between x and y. Place it between x and y. Then you go to the variables, coefficients of the variables x. Go to the coefficients of variable x, that is a1 and a2. Isko kahan pe place karna hai? Between y and 1. Between y and 1. Now what do you do? Now we have to take ratios. Ratio kiska lena hai? Okay, finally we have to place y ke coefficients b1 and b2. Okay, placing the coefficients ho gaya, placing the constants and coefficients ho gaya. Now we have to proceed to the next step where actual formula is being written. यहाँ पे we have to take ratios. Ratio किसका लेना है? Take x in the numerator, denominator में इन दोनों का cross multiplication. That is where the name comes from. That is where the name comes from. So cross multiplication will be b1 into c2 and c1 into b2 और इन दोनों के बीच में subtraction. Is this clear? Again, let us go back a few steps and understand हमने क्या किया. We took the standard form of 2 linear equations in 2 variables. Okay? उसके बाद first variable, second variable and 1 हमने ऐसे place किया. Then y के coefficients before x, constants between x and y, x के coefficients between y and 1 and again y के coefficients after 1. यहाँ तक clear है? Then Now we are talking about the actual formula. Actual formula में ratio लेना है. X upon cross multiplication of these two is equals to y upon cross multiplication of these two. So C1 into A2 minus A1 into C2. Alright, so this is how the cross multiplication will be carried on. Then the last ratio will be 1 upon coefficients का cross multiplication, which is A1 B2 minus B1 A2. ठीक है, यहाँ तक clear है? This is the formula that you have to remember. But in case it becomes a little difficult to remember this formula, you can get the formula in just 3 steps. Let us see how do we proceed by solving a sum and actually using the formula. Alright, fine. So this is the question that we've been given with. These are the two equations. Now first of all, you have to solve using substitution method and cross multiplication method. Substitution method we have already covered, so I am leaving it up to you to solve this example by substitution method. We here in today's lecture will proceed with solving this equations by cross multiplication method. Is that clear? Is that okay? Can you take this for homework and do this by substitution method? Thank you. Excellent. Chalo. Now first of all, what do we do here is we compare these or we write them in the standard form. Okay, we write them in the standard form. Standard form में लिखना है मतलब क्या करना है? Put the constants onto the left hand side. Put the constants onto the left hand side. Elimination method में क्या किया था? Constants को right hand side में, variables को left hand side में रखा था. But in cross multiplication method, you do the exact opposite. If the constants are placed on the right hand side, bring them onto the left hand side. Okay, that is exactly what we did here. Now, how do you solve these equations? How do you solve such equations? By cross multiplication method. Okay, so first we are going to be using cross multiplication method. यहाँ पे substitution आप कर रहे हो. All right. Now you have to compare these two equations with your standard form. You have to compare these two equations by standard form. Name the equations first of all, 1 and 2. So the first equation will be compared with a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equals to 0. And the second equation will be compared with a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals to 0. Now, what is the value of a1 here? a1 is 8, b1 is 5 and c1 is minus 9. Do not forget the signs. The signs are very important in mathematics. So we do not just take 9, we take minus 9. Is this clear? Excellent. Let's move on to comparing the next two equations. So a2 की value क्या है यहाँ पे? It is 3. What is the value of b2? b2 is 2 and the value of c2 is minus 4. Again, we do not leave the signs, okay? We take the signs, we include the signs. Write down the formula. Formula was x upon b1 c2 minus b2 c1 equals to y upon c1 a2 minus c2 a1 and then 1 upon a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Is this clear? यहाँ तक clear है? Now let us substitute the values. Do we have the values here? Yes, we have the values here. So let us try to substitute. So x upon b1 into c2. b1 into c2 कहाँ पे है? Find out those two values. यहाँ पे है. Let's try to multiply them. 5 into minus 4 कितना आता है? Minus 20. Excellent. You do not leave the signs. ठीक है? The signs are very important as you solve this type of equations. So the answer is minus 20. But we are not done here. We also have minus b2 into c1. So b2 into c1. Where is b2 into c1? Here. Now let us multiply this. 2 into minus 9 is minus 18. 2 into minus 9 is minus 18. So यहाँ पे the minus sign from the formula and the minus sign from the multiplication, so can be written as minus of minus 18. You understand this? Minus of minus 18. The next ratio, y upon c1 a2. c1 a2 कहाँ पे है? Locate the two values. So c1 a2 locate हुआ. Again it will be minus 9 into 3. The multiplication will be minus 27. So you write it down there, minus 27. We have one more term in the denominator, which is c2 into a1. Locate the terms, c2 into a1. So यहाँ का multiplication will be minus 4 into 8. What is minus 4 into 8? Minus 32. Now, minus sign from the formula, minus sign from the multiplication, minus of minus 32. Clear? Excellent. The last ratio, we do not forget the last ratio. It is 1 upon A1, B2. Locate the two values, 8 and 2. 8 times 2 is 16 minus A2 into B1, which is 15. So you write it down like this. Okay, yahan tak clear hai? Alright, excellent. Now let us actually carry on the simplification. Okay, yahan tak to formula ho gaya sara. अभी इसके आगे जो steps आएंगे they are just simplification. Okay, so cross multiplication method basically यहाँ पे खत्म हुआ. Now we just have to obtain the value by simplification of the denominator. Let's go ahead with it now. Minus 20 upon minus of minus 18. Now you tell me minus 20 minus minus plus 18. Minus 20 plus 18 क्या आएगा? Minus 2. So x के denominator में आएगा minus 2. Okay, then equals to y upon. Now you have minus 27 and minus minus plus 32. इसका subtraction क्या होगा? Subtraction होगा, right? यहाँ पे इसका subtraction होगा 5 and that is the value that you will be carrying here in the denominator is equals to 1 upon 16 minus 15 is 1 directly. So this is what you have. लेकिन x is equals to y is equals to क्या है ये नहीं पता हमें. So let us see how are we going to proceed by obtaining these values. First of all, x upon minus 2, y upon 5 and 1 upon 1. Okay. Now here these are ratios but these ratios are also in proportion. मतलब can you see this equal to sign in between? Can you see this equal to sign in between? That means the three ratios are in proportion. So you can take the first and the third ratio. What is the first and the third ratio? X upon minus 2 is equals to 1 upon 1. Cross multiply. So this will be x into 1 is x. 1 into minus 1 is, minus 2 into 1 is minus 2. So this is the value of x. Okay. Now second ratio with the third ratio. Second ratio with the third ratio. So it is y upon 5 is equals to 1 upon 1. Again cross multiply. Cross multiply. Y ones are y. 5 ones are 5. This is the value of 5. Did you understand how do we use cross multiplication method to solve the simultaneous equations? Excellent. Let us just wrap it up real quick. So abhi you will be taking one ratio at a time. So x upon minus 2 is equals to 1. 1 upon 1 can simply be written as 1. So x becomes minus 2. Similarly, y upon 5 is equals to 1. So y becomes 5. Final answer, your solution is x is equals to minus 2 and y is equals to 5. Okay, this is how you use cross multiplication method. I hope this is clear to all of you. Please keep on solving more sums so that you understand the concept clearly. Okay, and also remember how do you obtain the formula even if you don't remember the formula. Alright, with that children, we are only left with one more method in this chapter, which is graphical method. Okay, graphical method to find the solutions of your equations. We will be covering that in the next lecture. Until then, take care. Also, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, please hit that and also the bell icon with it. Thank you.